as powerful, if not more powerful. I think the second one's a little... Anyway, let me start this over. I'm really fucking this up.
Don't you know it's National Pet Sitters Week? How dare you try to make an appointment for March 7th?
This is inspirational insignificance.
Significance.
Jesus Christ. Here we go.
You start up a meeting at work and you're like, all right, me hearties. This PowerPoint covers manufacturing tips. And everybody's like, what's he doing? What the hell's going on?
Are you kidding me?
Is that in a... Yeah, that's a scratch. God.
Who's gonna write that black metal song? Demon cat pooping, scratching on nothing.
I'd like 5 cases of megacock, please.
No.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.
So we've been having a lot of fun with my new Vegetti. I tell you, it takes a good afternoon and turns it into a great afternoon. He brought his zucchini. I whipped out my Vegetti. Things got crazy.
And she gets out the Vegetti. I cancel my appointment. Let's put it that way.
It's so addictive.
Damn. Yeah, it is. Damn.
If you don't know what a Vegetti is, it's this little...
I'll show a picture of one.
...mechanism that you can twist. We've done just zucchini so far, and it makes it into like almost shreds it, so it's like kind of like pasta-ish.
Makes the veggie into pasta, yeah.
So
for people like us that are carb conscious.
I cooked it up with some carrots and some white wine and butter and a little garlic and some tomatoes over the whole thing.
And to return the favor, I made her watch the Mentors documentary. What did you think?
Well, it's kind of like a shock jock in a way, except they're shock rock.
Yeah.
That's basically...
I mean, heathen scum, you can't fault him. He is a doctor.
Right. And it's that old philosophy where any attention is better than no attention. So even if people are protesting you, that's a good thing because you're still on the news. Yeah.
I was watching Pornhub the other day, and some guy said to this chick, he goes, move your whore ass over here. And I thought, that sounds like a Mentor song. Move your whore ass over here. That could be one.
If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's definitely worth your time.
You'll end up wanting a Mentors t-shirt if you make it all the way through. Yeah.
As well as Kai. You introduced me to Kai, the hatchet-wielding
hitchhiker. Yeah.
You haven't watched this one yet? It's
odd, hyperactive surfer dude that ends up having rather dark side to him. Yeah.
Think feral person.
Yeah, feral person. Yeah.
We had one of those as a patient the other day.
You were telling me, came in. I like the part when you told him that it was downstairs.
No, he was telling me that when he came in, and the things were all wavy and colors were all goofy and things were going wah. I was like, okay. So I was like, okay. And so they were trying to, test his vision, which was better, 1 or 2. Which is better, 1 or 2? And he says 3. So, you always got to keep your options open. And then he was asking where an optical shop is. I said, there's one downstairs. And he went, oh, I don't know. He was a little feral.
You almost got me on that one.
He was a little feral.
Anyway, okay. So there's this high-end grocery store that's near my office. I work in kind of a hoity-toity part of town. And they have this cute little chalkboard in the lobby that has a food holiday for literally every day of the month. Every month. It's like written with little colored chalk. It's adorable, right? Did you know that December 5th is National Soul Food Day? Well, they'll have like National Pumpkin Spice Day. It's just National Barbecue Sauce Day. It's nauseating. Yeah.
People are always posting about that stuff on social media. It's Sibling Day. That's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I put a few in the suggestion box.
It's Hug Your Cat Day. No.
So how about these for the food obsessed to muddle over?
It's Tip a Stripper Day. Oh, that's every day.
February 5th, National Sneeze Beer Out Your Nose Day.
I may or may not have done that.
March 3rd, National Fun with Lard Day. April 15th, National Lace Someone's Food with Ghost Peppers Day.
Oh, my. That could be a trip to the emergency room.
May 29th, National Fill the Sugar Container with Baking Soda Day. I can't wait to get a call back on these. June 7th, National Self-Induced Aspartame Coma Day.
No, I'm going to just avoid that one. I'm just going to stay home.
I work with people that probably would get behind that, July 19th, National Everything Pig Knuckles Day.
Oh, you can keep your pig knuckles and your feet.
August 3rd, National How Did This Get in My Taco Day? September 19th, National Did Someone Sneeze in My Clam Chowder Day?
Oh, my God.
And the grand finale of all, December 14th, National What Would Happen If You Put the Fork Down Day? So I ran these by Stace, and she dug up some actuals that were equally shocking.
Yeah, and if that isn't enough inspiration to put the fork down, you're thinking about the taco. I actually worked at a Mexican restaurant, which is no longer in business. It was Chi-Chi's.
Yes.
And I got a complaint because the woman's quesadilla had a Band-Aid in it.
Oh, that's so nasty.
Actually happened. So that ought to encourage you to put the fork down. Anyway, so these are actual holidays. Like I said, I think people just make this shit up. What if cats and dogs had opposable thumbs day? We have a cat.
March 3rd.
March 3rd. So we always say Lush would love this day because every night when he decides that it's dark o'clock and he wants to go outside, he actually tries to turn the doorknob.
He comes pretty close too. If he had opposable thumbs, it would be a done deal.
And this is a very important, you have to remember this one. Apparently, this is a whole week. March 5th through 11th is Professional Pet Sitters Week. They need a whole week?
So they closed? So does that mean you can't get a pet?
Maybe.
You can't go on vacation?
I don't know. It's
don't you know it's National Pet Sitters Week? How dare you try to make an appointment for March 7th?
This is another entire week dedicated April 2nd through 8th is National Raw Feeding Week.
The hell does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe you eat raw vegetables.
Raw feeding.
Maybe it's.
Bust out the Vegetti week.
April 9th through 15th is Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, which I believe is every
There's a lot
day.
of animal related days. Apparently.
There's like a Hug Your Cat Day. There's a Ginger Cat Day, a Black Cat Day.
Avoid Your Cat Day for me is every day. So.
I like this one, World Mosquito Day, because everyone gets behind a good bloodsucker.
You know what? Somebody was saying this today. It might have been Gene Simmons. I can't remember. They asked if, do you believe in an afterlife? And he said, no. If we get one, does that mean mosquitoes get one? Best answer ever. Yeah, I think it was Gene Simmons.
How about International Talk Like a Pirate Day? Remember the guy in Dodgeball who just did that?
Like you start up a meeting at work and you're like, all right, me hearties, this PowerPoint covers manufacturing tips. And everybody's like, what's he doing? What the hell's going on? Don't you know it's national? Yeah. Maybe not at a business presentation.
I did work at a place where a guy had or the owner of the company brought in a full-size parrot and he would just be loose in the office and all of a sudden he'd be on your desk eating your paperwork. This has actually happened. I'd be like, no. And every Friday when he left, the bird would just attach himself to his collar and he'd walk out the door. It's like no cage, no nothing. He'd take the bird home. It was interesting.
That is interesting.
All right. How about Global Hand Washing Day, which after this pandemic should be every day.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just wash your hands on Global Hand Washing Day. That's how pandemics start.
Only one day a year. Yeah.
Count Your Buttons Day. Is that like listen?
Count your buttons.
It's that like listen up my buttons, babe. No, it's a whole different thing.
What like count your buttons?
I guess so.
Or put on buttons.
My grandmother used to say that every time. If I was trying to get to a point, I'd say so.
She'd say so buttons.
She'd say so buttons. Yeah, I never understood that either. I don't want to sew buttons.
Okay, what's next?
All right, how about National Forget-Me-Not Day? I can only guess they're talking about the flower.
I already forgot it.
Yeah. How about National Eat a Red Apple Day?
Why does it have to be red?
I guess.
I don't like the red apples.
No.
They're my least favorite kind.
Pretend to be a time traveler day. I like this one.
Just what? How?
I don't know. What if you just run up to random people and be like, I'm from the future. The answer is peanut butter, and run away. See what happens then.
That's okay. Moving on. Let's reel this puppy in.
Yeah. How about alphabet or Noel Day? That's like Noel.
What's the purpose of that? But so you can't say any words with the letter L in them?
I guess.
These people need hobbies. They really do. All right. Shucks, we're done with that. So let's talk about our feature interview this week with Massachusetts grindcore band Escuela Grind. The singer Katerina was nice enough to spend some time with us talking about the history of the band.
How do you put into words this little powder keg of a?
You called it twerkable grind.
It is twerkable.
I mean,
grind.
look at her go.
Yeah, it takes, she's like a little spark plug of energy, and she's beautiful and sweet and has a voice directly from the depths of hell. I love it. It's a
and she's an architect. Yeah.
It's a beautiful combination. But she actually writes all the lyrics and kind of brings that energy every single time. If you haven't seen them live, see them live. You
see the chaos behind us. I mean, this is insane. I like the guy that's got the green swan swimming tube and he's moshing in it.
Well,
I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Safety first.
Yeah. So yeah, this is some intense music. The guitar player is great. The drummer's insane. We're gonna play some songs.
Okay, so we're going to play a song from their first offering. This is from 2020. This is their first full length. The album is called Indoctrination. This song, which you will love, is called Inspirational Significance.
Okay. Let's talk about Patreon.
So we have some important announcements.
If you show off the link,
noticed, we're starting to get our merch. This is our double-sided coffee mug, our rock and roll art from season 2 here, our Decay on this side. And if that wasn't enough, now how much would you pay? We have our beer cozy again, season 2 rock and roll, season 2 Decay, double-sided with both of our shows. The only way you're going to be able to get these is to become a Patreon.
Yes.
And we have more things coming, as well as shirts we're working on.
Yes. Perpetually. Yes.
So you want it. And we also have some special content on our Patreon page, which can be seen nowhere else.
Which is what? You're doing some book reviews, right?
Yeah, there's
added.
Yeah, we're just gonna add in my take on the Philip Pullman series. Well, in the US, it's called the Golden Compass series. It goes by a different name in the UK. It goes by Northern Lights, but it's the same series.
She always puts it on when I fall asleep watching TV, and I always wake up and I go, "Oh, it's the Battle Bear," because it's always the polar bear with the war helmet on. Yeah. I must have drifted off. I'm looking at the Battle Bear. Yeah. So anyway. Okay. It's patreon.com/Snaggletooth podcast. Get over there for tons and tons of bonus content that you can't see anywhere else. So I was watching people when I was running the other day, and I saw some folks dashing off to work. It was kind of early. And I started to pay particular attention to their baggage, like the way that they carry their shit around. I think it says something about who you are. Like, so, all right, so you start off like we have the standard briefcase right now. This is not something that most people carry around. And there's no middle ground when you're carrying a briefcase. You're either George Clooney dashing into court as the lawyer, or you're Woody Allen sniffing nasal spray and being the ultimate nerd, so. Personally, I think the briefcase is much more interesting when it's handcuffed to you.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I might have seen that in DC one time, but if I do, I automatically will assume it's like Tony Stark doing an arms deal or something. Because what could be in there, What about you? You have any certain types of bags that you've noticed?
I noticed the old ladies with they're coming to the office and they have the bag that attaches to the front of the walker. It kind of drapes over. And I've noticed several old ladies, they come in and the remote controls for their TVs are still in them. I guess they use it at home too.
They're carrying the remotes around? Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Everything's in there. Their remote, their knitting needles, their wallet.
Well, if you have a backpack and you have it and the dude has it over two shoulders, it sort of suggests to me like almost a nature-oriented hiking or tech nerd mentality, or that you're in middle school, you know? Mine has My Little Pony on it. So, Now, one of the more fascinating ways of carrying things around is the fanny pack.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like the offspring of the briefcase. Either it's very cool and trendy, or it's completely uncool. I have a hard time seeing it as anything but uncool. But either you're the cool sorority girl with lipstick and your ID in it going out to the bar, or you're fat grandma with Bengay and a pack of Camels.
I can never pull off a fanny pack. There are people,
or you're an NFL quarterback. They do have them.
I never liked that. There are people who will run with a fanny pack. I'm real stupid about what I have on me when I run. I can't carry water. You'll see people with belts with water. Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's slosh every step. No,
you
thank
you used to run. Talk about when when your Saturn was busted. What would you do?
Oh, I would run to work. So some mornings when I had to get in there, and I would have a bag, with a change of underwear and my lunch, which ended up not being a good idea to run with my lunch. I had crumbs by the time I got to work from jostling with everything I had in the bag.
Do her tattoos match? They look like
they could
foxes or fox heads or something on her thighs. Anyway, sorry, distracted. The square laptop bag with the shoulder strap.
Yeah.
You've just given up on life when you're carrying that around. But the black ones are like for men of a certain age, but the brown leather ones, I always think that the person's delivering mail in a Swedish dwarf or something. That's what it looks like to me. It's very European looking.
A man purse.
I expect them to have an accent.
Yeah, they usually do.
What about the size of a woman's purse?
Oh my God. If it's big enough to be mistaken for a diaper bag or a carry-on.
Or Cleveland.
In an airline.
Yeah.
This woman was either a mother or a Girl Scout. She is prepared for anything that might happen to her that day.
Totally true.
They have umbrella, like a rain poncho for an impromptu thunderstorm, makeup, change of clothes, Swiss Army knife, baby wipes, pens, hand sanitizer, maybe a can of Lysol, lotions, potions, ibuprofen, feminine hygiene products, snacks, matches, mess kits, chopsticks, and maybe even a few Capri Suns. You never know.
Yeah, I just thought of another National Food Day. Should have added this one. How about National Take Cheez Whiz hits right out of the can? We loved doing that in college. Yeah, I was turned on to synthetic cheese. Anyway, back to this. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there's certain clubs will only let you in with a certain size clutch or purse or something.
Sports things too. The Flyers were real strict for a while.
I worked with was telling me that you have to go get a locker if you got anything that's bigger than this. Which what do you got in there? Kleenex, a lipstick, and a credit card or something. I mean, what fits in that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm no pack rat, but I would need a little more than that. So I like when the females carry one of those canvas bags with them. I always think, are those your Bob Ross painting supplies in there? Perhaps a little Prussian blue for happy little clouds.
Little tree right here.
Teeny tiny canvases. An impromptu garden painting party. Yeah.
You never know. One of those might break out.
What about the wallet that
I don't think you could ever carry one of these. I actually thought about it for you. Number one, they're horribly expensive. They're about $150 for a wallet. But they're real thin for men. They're kind of all the rage. They are supposed to be able to protect you against fraud. I don't know who's scanning you from across the room and getting your card number, but I don't know if that's a thing. But it's supposed to be impervious to that because it has a blocker but you can also press a button for an extra amount of flair while you're paying, and your credit card just pops out all spring loaded.
I still have my bonus cards from People's Drug and Corvettes in mine. I don't think it's going to fit.
Who has ever been super impressed by credit card velocity? Oh my, with the speed that he paid. No.
That's like we moved into the house up the old house. The people we bought the house from went out of their way to show us that the cabinets had that soft close. And I was like, how much did you pay for that? They were so proud of their soft close. It just was like, look at the ease it shot. They didn't like the boom.
I had the cassette players with the soft open and the
soft eject. Yes, that was a big deal.
It didn't go.
I remember Christmas Eve of 1985, 84, laying there and just dreaming, I'm going to get that soft eject anymore. I can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, for all my cassettes. Marathon when you needed money.
Oh God.
This is a great
again,
story.
when I run, I don't like anything extra on me. When I was training for a marathon, if I was doing a really long run, I would drive out and hide a Gatorade in somebody's bush so that I could run out to it and take a quick 2 minutes
in someone's shrubbery, to be more specific.
Yeah, exactly. And then carry it back with me, dispose of it in the trash can in the reservoir, and go on with the run. I can't have it. So I don't like anything sloshing, jingling. I really am a minimalist. No fanny packs, no water strapped to me. They got water tables every 2 miles. You don't need your own water, people. So, I wanted to take the light rail down because the way they do the Baltimore Marathon, they block off a lot of streets. It's very hard to get in and out, and I didn't want to be late. So I thought if I take the light rail down, I can just get off that and walk to the start line. It'll be easy. So I just, carried a couple bucks with me, or what I thought I needed, and I put it in to buy my ticket, and I had about almost $4 that it owed me back, and it gave it to me all in coins. So I'm standing there with all this change thinking, oh my God, I didn't want to run back to the car because I didn't want to be late. I was already on the platform, so I turned, and there, perfectly placed, is a homeless person. And I was like, I've never been more happy. I was like, serendipity, here we go. It was just.
And that was when he said, I'm sorry, I only take credit cards. You didn't want to carry 10 pounds of change, 26 miles.
To literally jingle all the way, randomly dropping quarters. No.
Speaking of dropping coins, really dropping coins jokes? Remember when you used to pull up to a toll booth and throw the coins into the basket? Remember that? One would inevitably always bounce out, and then my father would start bitching because he couldn't get the door open to get it, and of course we never had extra change. So he'd send one of us out, and we'd be awkward crawling through the car looking for lost change.
Oh God.
I'm glad they went beyond that technology. That the baskets often did not work.
No, or it would just swirl around, and by the time you drove through, it would still be doing the toilet bowl swirl. Yeah. So it would register that you didn't pay, even though you paid.
Yep. Yeah.
I always felt bad for toll booth operators. What if people just rolled up and just threw change at them? You just get pelted with change.
What is you saw a guy do what?
Well, I was coming back from Ocean City or somewhere, and I was really tired, almost home. Of course, you get to Baltimore, there's a toll. So he gets out of his car, opens his trunk, and starts rummaging through his golf bag to get enough change for the toll.
Nice. I usually get behind people like that.
I was just going to throw a dollar bill at him so we could all get on with our life. Urgency.
It's time for me to editorialize. I hate Easy Pass. I think Maryland's Easy Pass is the height of government incompetence. Okay. Literally, their only function is that of a cash register. They literally, all they have to do is just find a way to take money. We're giving the money, and they're just like, sorry, they don't provide like a utility or service or anything. They're just supposed to take money. They changed websites recently, and I had to go on hold I was on hold for 2 hours just trying to get access to my account to pay them. I used to prepay. So I used to give them my credit card, and they were supposed to take out like $80 a month, whatever it is, right? And it was just insane. Like 1 month they take 120, then 80. Sometimes they take out 100 twice in 1 month. It was like they were having a little office party and just debiting my credit card randomly. So now I took the number out and I just run it, and they'll send me a bill for like $18.
Here's the really
Cheaper to be a criminal.
Here's the really weird part. Ever since COVID hit and they took out like the
people,
the toll booth people, I don't have an Easy Pass, and I didn't in the Fiat, and I would drive through. And back in the day, when I might just blow through because I didn't have any money, I used to call that driving on credit.
Yeah.
And you would get a little bill for $6 for doing that. And I'd be like, well, hopefully by the time I get the bill, I'll have some money. But I noticed after the pandemic, I never got any bills for any time that I went through an Easy Pass.
Yeah.
I did have an Easy Pass for a while. It was stolen out of my car.
Really?
Yes. And I reported it, and they told me not to worry about it because it was only valid in my vehicle. But then I started getting these emails that I owed like $99.
So you just hold it up.
So I don't know, but I'm never paying them, and I'm never getting another Easy Pass.
And I'm getting irritated talking about Easy Pass. Let's play a song. It's back to Escuela Grind. This is from 2022's Memory Theater. This is Cliffhanger.
All right, so you all know about my love with our sponsor, Hum. I decided to try some new products, one of which was given to me by my daughter. You all know I already love red carpet. This is called Runway Ready, and they come in these neat little packs. So this is nice. If you're planning on going on a trip, you can just take this instead of all your medication. Sorry, I'm not going to go there again. But they are conveniently, if you want to take these with you to the office or on a trip, you can just take out what you need. This has red carpet pills in it. It has 2 of them. It also has killer nails in here. So what is this going to do for you? 1, it's going to strengthen your hair. 2, it's going to promote fuller hair, which I've definitely seen a notice. And it promotes healthy, hydrated skin. How does it do this? Nature and these ingredients actually work. Black currency oil, omega-6, GLA, ALA. The vitamin E in here is what gives you that glow. It has vegan biotin, in case you're worried about it being vegan. It is. And that helps your hair and your nails be stronger. Here's a hack on this one, though. I always take 1 red carpet a day. This gives you 2, so I always put the other one aside for another day. But these are also very helpful packs.
I'm going to take some, put on some Roxy music, and sashay down the runway. Along with our Russian Blue, because he's also ready for the red carpet. Yes,
at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Also tried a new product. This is Ripped Rooster. This is another one that can help you. Like I said, if you just want to lay around and eat bonbons, it's not going to help you lose weight. If your nutrition is good and your exercise routine is good and you need a little extra boost, this is it. You can take this with Skinny Bird. I did look on that on their website. They're really good about they have dermatologists that will answer your questions. They have frequently asked questions. They also, if they have your routine in there, you can put, is this compatible? And it'll tell you yes or no. Yes, you can take this with Skinny Bird.
You know what that was? Ripped Rooster, they were going to call that when it first came out. It got vetoed. Mega cock. And someone in the back of the boardroom said, Mr. Pirate, no.
Arg, foiled.
Arg, no mega cock. How about a Ripped Rooster?
How does this work? It's not magic. It's science. It helps lower take that again.
Yes.
Ripped Rooster. How does this work? Through science. That's how it works. It's not magic. It helps your body burn more fat. How? Green tea. It helps level out your blood sugar. How? Chromium. It helps boost your metabolism with Keto 7. So these are all things that can help. You can take this along with Skinny Bird, which also kind of has other ingredients in it that also boost your metabolism, also with some green tea. And it also has plenty of ingredients that actually go into your brain and say, hey, I'm full. It's good. So
What would happen if I put the fork down?
these products can really help push you over. They have a lot of great products at Hum Nutrition. Wingman, which we love, for its milk thistle, and that cleans out your liver perfectly. So if you want to use our link, you can get over yourself, take their quiz. They have many products for many different concerns. They have for aging, they have science that will help you get to sleep. They have science that'll help you get through a pregnancy. They even have that. So they have products to clear your skin. They have products to make you look young. Get over there, use our link. You will save $20 off your first order of $39 or more.
I'd like 5 cases of Megacock, please.
No.
Okay. It is time for Wax of Contrition. And I've got a couple of nasty platters for you today. So around the mid to late 90s, it started to occur to me that maybe Fenriz from Dark Throne was not anticipating such underground success. I mean, the first few records were all considered, and still are considered, black metal classics. And they're so groundbreaking, it seemed like he started to deliberately try to throw us off, like he had too many fans. Transylvanian Hunger took the band to its rawest, kind of gloomiest essence, and he was like, fuck the English lyrics. He went with Norwegian lyrics, and Speed on Speed on Speed, it came across like a single 40-minute song, really. I mean,
Wow.
it's a tough one, but I remember that record has a song on it called Flittermice, and I realized, without a translation, I was like, aha, that's bats. Bats, which is Flittermice. What a cool name. Anyway, moving on, the next album was called Panzerfaust, and for that one, the vocals were so loud in the mix, and it's all blargs and args over like Celtic Frost riff.
Maybe he was doing Speak Like a Pirate Day.
Pretty much, yeah. We keep coming back to that, don't we? So, then came this little beauty, and I teased it a couple of weeks ago.
Whoa.
Do I have Goat Lord on vinyl? Of course I do. I think this may have been this is the worst album I've ever heard situation. Yeah. I think it was, yeah. Essentially, this is a raw cassette demo of what would have been the band's second record. Fenriz layers in all kinds of like awkward backbent tempo changes, the drums, and then he's got these winsome kind of angel warbles and tortured moans and cruddy bass croaks, and it's all wrapped up in his percussive virtuosity. His drumming is over the top like crazy on this record. The guitar tone I prefer here over the first album, because the first album was recorded at Sunlight Studios, and it has that kind of a Stockholm sound, that Entomb sound to it. This is something other. I absolutely adore the weirdness of this record, and I'm going to play a song, and you're not going to believe it. It's called Birth of Evil Virgin Sin.
It will destroy you.
Okay, Wax of Contrition 2. We're going to go to the Midwest, a sadly forgotten gem from a band called Time Ghoul. Their complete discography, which is their main demos compiled together. Now, sadly, folks, I only have it on CD. I do need to upgrade, get it in vinyl. For a long time, getting this on vinyl was like they wanted your firstborn child for it, but you can get it now for $40-$50, and some are colored as well. So I'll have to invest. These guys were innovators. Frontman Jeff Hayden, he formed the band in the most unlikely of all places, Forrestal, Missouri, back in the late 80s. I always assume there must be college nearby. I don't know if that's true or not. Like Manila Road was formed in the middle of nowhere, and they soldiered on forever. Anyway, the band was first called Doom's Lair, and eventually they changed their name to Time Ghoul. So this was the first death metal band that I can recall that had a space bend, kind of a time and space bend, as opposed to gore and the more traditional topics. And it is very disorienting. It's just waves of harmonized guitars, squealing harmonics, lots of dissonance. Tony Holman's drumming stretches over wide terrain, lots of zigzags, dry snare fits, slow calculated rolls. There's some delicate melodic chants woven in, but primarily the vocals are very croaky. So, a lot of these elements have become staple elements of modern technical death metal, but this band's pioneering brushstrokes were very original back in the day. And considering where they were from, very interesting band. All right, so the main demos that are included here are called The Tumultuous Travelings and Panoramic Twilight. This is a nice 2-disc issue. Each epic track is filled with dark, thorny twists, weird sci-fi lyrics like Gut Spawn, which is about a battle with entrail-leaking creatures that are straight out of a John Carpenter film, and he describes them in ridiculous detail. There's a cut called Boiling in the Hourglass, suffocating intensity, crashing through astral doors, scaring away woodland creatures. Lyrics even naughtier than the music itself. It's about an idiot savant raised by dogs. He becomes a god and soon threatens to impale all of us on crumbled pillars. Coming to a theater near you.
Like Remus and Romulan.
Yeah, these guys were ahead of their time. So anyway, Time Ghoul, I can't say enough about them. Let's play a song. This is Rain Wound. I've got to get that on vinyl. It's going to keep me up at night. All right, what should we do now?
We should introduce our interview.
Yes, we should. Why don't we do that?
So this is our interview with Escuela Grind, who captured our hearts. Had to get this wonderful front lady on the show. Katerina, it was sweet, wonderful, and also with those incredible vocals and, all those great philosophical and all those great philosophical inspired lyrics.
Fascinating discussion about Grandmaster Flash, of all people.
So you'll love them immediately. And like I said, see them live, get over to Spotify, check them out. You will be won over in seconds, just as we were.
All right, so check it out. Here's the interview.
I must tell you, Miss Katerina, when we walked into the Metro Gallery to see Exhumed, we did not know we would be leaving with a Escuela Grind t-shirt, but we did, because you guys knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, thanks so much, y'all. Thank you.
So the name of the band translates to school grind. How did that kind of come to be the name?
Yeah. Originally when we started, we were just Escuela. And we were all, 2 out of the 3 of us back then were in school, and we lived in like a college town. So it kind of fit, to be truthful, we didn't have a name, and we were just jamming, and I just started screaming Escuela, Escuela, Escuela over like a D beat pattern. So it just kind of stuck. That's the real story. But we'll go with all the conceptual answers that are coming out now too. School grind.
How did you get into extreme music? Was there any one person or group that kind of inspired you this way?
So I grew up in the 90s here in Massachusetts, Western Mass specifically, but like for my age group and for the time, like Converge was the biggest thing, the biggest band. Everyone was in a band that sounded like Converge, if not openly trying to be exactly like Converge. And like even people that were doing music that wasn't even close to them, they would put, in their MySpace or whatever, sounds like Converge and this or whatever. It's just like everyone was so influenced by Converge. So that's my intro point pretty much. Bands like that, of course, everyone, I'm real adventurous music type. So I liked a lot of different stuff back then. And we had like all the scene stuff and like screamo music and whatnot back then. So that was kind of big in Western Massachusetts. in the early 2000s too. So we had some cool bands out here like Ampere and stuff that were influential, I guess you could say. I like them a lot. So yeah.
That's awesome.
My favorite Converge story, I took my son to see them. I'd seen him a bunch of times. And they cut the show short. Like Jake Bannon got on stage and said, "All right, we're gonna have to stop because somebody kicked me in the head and I'm seeing 3 of everything. Can I play one more song?" And I remember thinking, I thought that was like a normal Tuesday for you, you know? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? You're cutting it short. This is violent music, you know? Anyway.
Did you have any female mentors that were able to teach you kind of how the ropes and how to sing? And
I not really, to be honest. I have lots of friends at the time and now that we're all into this music, so we'd just like goof around in the car, sing along and whatnot. But no one in particular that kind of pulled me out of obscurity to say in our scene. Our scene was very small here growing up, though. It's like we live in a small town now, so we live in the town that I grew up in. No one else from the band is from this town, just me. And it's like we did have shows when I was growing up, but not so much now. There's like some stuff here and there, but yeah. So there wasn't too many non-male members of the community. Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a big it pushed me to do more, though, growing up like that and in a scene where there wasn't so many of us or so many people that weren't cis white males. So it's always a motivator to keep hitting milestones and keep going and to be as inclusive as we can. So yeah. I wish there was someone that was around that I could have learned the ropes from, because that would have saved me.
You're self-made, yeah.
There we go. I like that answer better. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what are the main ingredients that make up your kind of twerkable type grindcore?
Ooh, well, I mean, our backbone is grindcore power violence, so we always like to bring those elements in and make them accessible in some way. So we always add other parts of our influence. So like right now, if you listen to our last record, Memory Theater, you'll hear tongue twister, Memory Theater. You'll hear a lot of hardcore influence. You'll hear a lot of death metal influence, and like certain parts you'll pick out, like Cannibal Corpse blasting and whatnot like that. So like, so you'll probably hear the influences in the recordings. As far as what makes it twerkable, well, right now we've been writing with such an influence, with such a what's the word? Like we've been focused in our writing on how the crowd will move to the songs a lot. It's just something we never really thought about before, and now we try and think about it because when we were writing our last album, it was during COVID, so we thought about it a lot because we weren't playing live shows, and so it's cool to see that like how we wrote the songs to be moved to is how they're actually being moved to now, and that's something that's sticking with our writing. We're writing this month a lot for EPs and the upcoming EP that we have planned. So just started on that. So there's definitely an influence in how people will move, and if you show them what to do to it, they'll start doing it too. So like,
so cool.
If I'm up there shaking it, really cool. Someone else might shake it too. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's cool. It's neat to me that it was so. I was like, wow.
Like, all right, you guys counterclockwise.
Yeah.
All right, and then that guy, I want that guy to just stand in the back and drink a beer. And,
Hey. I'd become too drunk with power if that was the real case. I could like,
we have had a doctor rock star in our show, but you were our first architect, I must say.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one was a college professor who also does music.
Oh.
But when you are writing, do you ever draw from kind of the influences of architecture into it? Does that make it in there?
Yeah, our last record, a big part of it was influenced by what I do, my trade, if you will. So like I never really got into it before, but I wanted to on the last record that we put out, Memory Theater, and it's got a lot of the language of architecture. The concept itself is like an art history, architectural, historical concept of the Memory Theater. So it's like an internal architecture. Um, and so I kind of like took those words and the more like metaphysical aspects of what architecture is. It comes up a lot like in like, not that I'm a mason or anything, or I can be, but like that imagery. They use a lot of construction and stone laying, like, but mixed with like, this is a godlike thing what we do. So I kind of went to that point and used some of the language. Yeah, so it's different for me, but
You'd be like,
I like that we mix
like,
it.
this song is called "Forgot to Draw Air Vents."
There you go.
Actually, have you ever heard the Elvis Costello quote about architecture? Have you ever heard it?
No, I don't think so. No, what is that?
Taking a stab at music reviewers, and he said, "Writing about music is like dancing about architecture." That was his.
Yeah, actually.
A little British nugget there, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Lots of musicians come from architecture, not so much in like the heavy realm, but when I was in architecture school, it was kind of fun to like look into like who went to architecture school and be a musician.
Is there anybody?
Like
I have no idea. Is there anybody that we would have heard of that you discovered?
Oh yeah. I think like several of the members of Talking Heads went to architecture school.
I'm so not surprised to hear that. Yeah.
It's music like that, though. I think maybe one of the members of Devo or something was in stuff like that. So it's more indie music. Like, yeah. If there are other heavy metal architects out there, get at me.
Yeah. Let's get some comments. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that US tour that we saw you in with Exhumed and Vitriol and Castrator, how was that tour for you? It looked amazingly fun.
Oh, it was so great. I believe it was Baltimore that we saw each other. Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah.
That show was great. We love that venue too. It's the first time we played there. But overall, the tour was really surreal. They asked us to fill in for a band that had to drop like 2 weeks ahead of touring, and it was a 5-week tour. So it was like down to the wire of like making sure we got our merch, making sure we like had everything situated. It helps that we have a van already, so we were able to just kind of cancel what we had to cancel and get on the road. But the tour was it was the greatest. It was like the best time we've had, the longest tour we've done, the most successful. We just had such a great time. So
it's a good thing your songs are a little longer, because I mean, if you had like Napalm Death Scum type songs, it would have been like, this is all we got. We don't know,
Exactly. Yeah. No, it was. Go right ahead. Yeah.
Did you have any real good memories or weirdnesses that happened along the way?
Any tour stories?
The whole thing was like, it was just happening. Like it felt like it was happening in the moment, like the whole time, because of how quickly it came up on us. Let's see, crazy tour stories from the last tour. Everyone was like really chill. We did all get sick multiple times. Like everyone on the tour was sick, like pretty much the entire and no one got like COVID or anything, but like it was crazy. Like when one of us just got better, we got hit with like another virus or something that was going around, like a sore throat or this, and I got laryngitis and stuff. So like there were a few shows where it's like pushing through, like we have to make this happen. Like we never cancel like on a tour. So like it was a couple of nights where it was dicey, but I mean, just getting to meet the other bands too was great. I'm a fan of what Castrator does, and I like them as people. So that was great to be on a tour with them. And Exhumed are like, they're legends. They're great. They're all over good people to be around too. It's always nice when you meet some old heads. For me, they're old heads. But and they're actually cool. So I appreciate all the knowledge they imparted on us as well, and definitely want to get back out there with them again. So yeah, nothing that stands out that was like too crazy or anything without going too deep into it, but just like
well,
it was.
I was super impressed because you were having sound trouble with your microphone, and you just at one point you were
Yeah.
just like fuck it, and you just started screaming, and I could hear you over the drums, over the guitar.
Oh hell yeah!
I was so impressed. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I was really impressed. I came up to you when I bought the shirt, and I said, "Who's gonna follow that? Who's gonna follow
Oh.
it?" And you were like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you." So that was our little interaction. Yeah.
Eh,
Your stage presence is so theatrical, from your stalking and your facial expressions. I love some of the stills you have up on Instagram.
I think athletic is a better word.
Very athletic. You probably don't even have to work out ever. You ever worn a Fitbit and tried to see what your heart rate was, how much cardio you got?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to at a certain point, because like I don't think it's like not imitatable. I was talking about this on tour because we were all so sick all the time, and I was just like trying to give it my all, and I wasn't feeling like I was, and then they're like, "No, you're doing good." But it's like the way I use like my stage fright and I channel it into like that really chaotic moving and jumping around and stage presence.
Yeah.
You just can't put yourself in that mindset. It's really like a fight or flight kind of thing that you put yourself into. So like even if you tried to do that as a workout, it just wouldn't give you the same results, because it's just all adrenaline. Like unless you had someone like chasing you with a knife or something, I don't know how to get that, like that nervousness that's channeled into anxiety, that's channeled into fight or flight. So yeah, I wish I could patent the workout program, but I don't know.
I was watching you headbang, and I was thinking about all the guys from like the big four, like all the guys from Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax. They've all had to have neck surgery from headbanging.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, I really hope that this generation has found a hack for this, because I would hate for that to happen. And they were all like, "Oh yeah, we had to get it. My neck was killing me from years of headbanging." So hopefully you have a hack for that. Yeah.
Yeah, knock on wood. It's stretching. I don't know if it's gonna work in the long run, but for now it helps.
Well, I have a lot of faith in your generation. You guys are much smarter. I think you'll figure it out. Yeah. No.
Hey.
I
Someone does.
I think we might be able to work out like a workout DVD. I used to go to a dance class, and unfortunately after COVID, we've never gotten back together. I mean, I've danced with these girls for like 11 years. So now they only want to do it via Zoom, and I'm in the basement doing the routines. I'm like, somehow this is not the same.
Yeah.
It's just not. But so maybe you could do that. You could do Zoom meetings and people could pay you.
There you go. Metal Zumba.
Grindcore.
I think we might have something.
Grindcore aerobics. Yeah.
There you go.
So it looks like in February you're kicking off an extensive European tour with Napalm Death, Drop Dead, and Siberian Meat Grinder.
Wow.
How did that tour come together?
I don't know the back end of it, but while we were on tour in
found our video on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, my trusted drummer and partner came in and told me what the backstory was.
Okay.
Just a European agent that books for Napalm Death and whatnot out there saw us on YouTube, probably saw like our Obscene Extreme video or whatever from last year, and thought it would work with the tour, and they sent a message while we were on tour with Exhumed. So that came about really quickly as well. So we're just getting all our pieces together to get out there next month. But it's a dream. Like, we're so grateful. Both Drop Dead and Napalm Death are huge influences on us.
Wow.
Like, we've gotten to play with Drop Dead several times now because they are from Providence. We're from
I was
Western.
going to say that. All right. I wasn't sure. I was like, is it Siege that's from New England, or is it Drop
Siege
Dead?
is from, yeah. Both of them are. Yeah.
Oh, they both are. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
See, my moldy synapses remember certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Boston, like Weymouth, Providence area. It's all like little towns that are in cities that are separated, but they're all super close, like 45 minutes away from each other. So it's like all blended. Yeah. So
it's fucking cold here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think there's any particular country you're most looking forward to performing in, or you don't know yet?
Ooh, yeah. So we've only gone once before. We went in 2022. So last year we went on our own like headlining tour around Obscene Extreme, which was rescheduled from 2020. So we had like kind of the tour booked, and then that all happened, and then it came back 2 years later. So yeah, so we went to a lot of places on that tour. Germany's really cool. We did a lot of German dates on that tour, but we didn't get to go to France, which is a place that we're going now. We're doing like 4 dates in France,
Oh, cool.
and Switzerland we passed through, which is like the most beautiful. Like it's so beautiful, the Alps and whatnot there.
Wow.
But we didn't get to play, so that's gonna be fun. And it's our first time in the UK, so we're really excited about that, and especially to be there with Napalm Death, like playing all the legendary venues. Like we played the Electric Ballroom in London, and like the little venues that are attached to the O2 and stuff like that. So it's like,
That's
I
great.
shouldn't say little. They're big venues. I don't know why I said little. I guess everything's little. It's like the O2 arena, but yeah, we're so excited. We're so excited.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Mm.
Um, Indoctrination was recorded in your house, right? So was it
Yeah,
a similar
right.
process for Memory Theater, or were you in the studio?
So we were in studio to record when we were writing it in 2020, like during the pandemic and stuff in 2021. We basically took the approach that we did on Indoctrination, and we demoed everything in our house. So we have the home studio, wrote it, recorded it, demoed it, changed some parts, re-recorded. We like added it a lot. Like that wasn't really so much a part of our process before, the re-recording and demoing and editing. I mean, every band kind of does it, but it wasn't like something that we were really focused on or had like the time to do. So COVID was really helpful with that, at least, or the pandemic break, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, we demoed them ourselves here in the studio, but we recorded in God City studio with Kurt Ballou. So
Wow.
I've mentioned Convert before, but it was a really surreal experience working with him at God City. I mean, so many bands have gone through there. He has a Grammy for his work. It's like it's a full circle. It was a full circle moment, and like, although it was kind of intimidating being with him.
I was gonna say, were you a little starstruck when you first started talking to Kurt? I mean,
Yeah, we had the chance to play with them before Converge, that is. So we had met before, and we were like circulating radars, and his bandmate like included Indoctrination in like a list of like his favorite albums and stuff. So we had
awesome.
we had like rapport. But to go into the studio with him was like a whole other like definitely anxious. But he's such a cool dude, and he's funny as hell. So like our humor gets along very well. So
that's important. Yeah,
it was a great experience.
Was it a big change moving from a 3-piece to a 4-piece? Did that add a lot of moving parts?
Yes and no. Like we've always Jesse writes with the bass in mind all the time. Jesse's first instrument was like stand-up bass, I think. So like that's part of the DNA of the band. You always hear it with that on there. But previously Chrissy, our guitarist, had been playing, she still does this, but not it doesn't need to be as split, but she plays with an AB wide pedal. So she has her one guitar going through 2 separate amps, in which those have different settings. So at the time she could make one be more present with the low end, and it helps like kind of with the bass sound, and we tune lower. So it's like, it would help with the bass sound, but it's not like having a whole other body playing with the bass. Like it just sounds so much better with a bass player. So personally, it's brought our live experience up a lot, I think. And like a little like OCD with like placement, so it's nice to have like 2 and 2 in the middle sort of a thing. Like the layout of it has like, I don't know why that matters to me, but like in my head it's like when it's like not, when it wasn't even, I was just like always like, where do I go? Like I'm the other one out here. But yeah.
Do you still do basement shows?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. It just depends on the situation. Like there's always going to be a time and place for a basement show, and we've had in our own basement here some pretty big acts come and play our small town in the basement. So yeah, there's always a place for it. Just if it makes sense, if it's safe for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I was watching your TikTok and I was just blown. I was like, what is this? I showed it to you.
The laundromat thing.
Laundromat.
Yeah. That's out in Columbus. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it's like they've been doing shows there for a while, from what I understand. There's a bar there, so it's a laundromat bar, and there's a small space in the back.
I was concerned about that. So yes, yeah.
It's called Dirty Dungarees in Columbus. We'll give them the shout out. Don't know when we're going to be.
Cool.
Yeah, Dirty Dungarees.
People are there just washing their clothes. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that was absolutely happening. There was definitely people there that were like, "Oh yeah, that's one of these is happening again." They were just like, "Their business."
Old people they're like 23 minutes left. I got to sit here and listen to this. That's hilarious. Yeah.
You guys have been known to speak and even donate to minority women's rights as well as LGBTQ rights. Do you think someone in the crowd would definitely be inspired or find solace in that message? Have you ever had someone come up to you and say thank you?
Oh yeah, all the time. And it's
great.
So for I usually say the same things, so I can probably repeat verbatim what I said when you heard us in Baltimore, but it's like we always shout out the girls, gays and theys, people of color in our communities and trans friends. And I usually try and tell people that if there's something that they want to do, like people can't get in your mind and talk you out of it, basically. Like you can do anything, sort of a mentality. Because I felt like I needed that growing up, especially because in our scene, there wasn't too many women or people of color or trans people. So it was almost like we had to have people come from out of town and tell us these things for us to like believe it. So yeah, I try and deliver that message every show, no matter. I mean, it's gonna hit differently in like places where people are diverse and open-minded than in smaller towns where people maybe haven't heard those messages as much. And I definitely have gotten a whole range of different emotions from people and how they respond to that message. But it runs the gamut. There's people that personally it resonates with them, and that's our stories to keep with each other. But there's also like people who's like lots of dads that come up to me and are like, my son or daughter just came out as trans, and like what you said means a lot to me because I wasn't really considering it or whatever. And now I feel like I can share that with them or share metal with them, and like it's just nice to know that they're welcome here with me and whatnot. All sorts of different stories, but yeah,
awesome.
Dads, teachers, parents, people, individuals, like all the time. So I think
I'm very pleased. I remember you saying that, and I had quite a few beers at that point, so I'm very pleased that I remember it. Yes. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, should we play our game?
Let's do our game.
All right. I have 100 random questions in front of me. I want you to pick 5 numbers.
Okay. 69. You gotta go with 69. I'm sure a lot of people pick that one. 33, 7, 13. How many do I have to pick? I'm
5,
sorry.
So one more.
One more? All right. 84. Don't know why I picked that one. That was just there.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go straight to 69.
Nice.
If you could learn a skill you do not currently possess, what would it be?
Oh God. Oh, there's so many. See, I'm like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So like over my life, I've like learned the bare minimum to like be functional on an instrument and never like mastered it. I guess, and same with like languages and all these different hobbies. But I guess there was one thing. Gosh, I just wish I could shred on the guitar, like really cool. I mean, I could play chords and stuff, but if I could shred, Oh, it'll be
Like shred
over.
like who?
I would
Like
love it.
who do you want to sound like? Who do you want to sound like?
Oh God, who do I
Like
want
Phil
to sound like
Steer
in
or
my
like I mean like who do you want to sound like? Who's the best
shit?
shredder?
Okay, honest, this is so I don't know why I'm thinking of this person so much, and it's not really a standard answer. But okay, let's move away from the guitar to the bass. I've
Okay.
always like the Stanley Jordan like finger picking
Oh wow.
style,
Yeah.
thing, like the hammer on stuff, and like being able to like be so melodic with that. So like that would be really cool to learn how to do that.
So
So
jazz, you go jazz on this. Wow.
I think so. Like, yeah, my partner, our drummer, listens to like a lot of Jaco Pastorius stuff. Like, so to be able to play
Wow.
like that, full of like music theory and like
Oh yeah.
just
Yeah.
skill would be like insane.
That's
But
so
like,
cool.
yeah, like I'd love to like shred like metal guitarists.
Well,
Like,
at that
you saw
show,
Sebastian.
it's
Yeah,
funny you're talking
yeah,
about you're talking about bass at that show. Who was the one band? Vitriol?
Vitriol.
The drum, I
yeah,
mean, the
that,
bass player was playing bass and singing, and I went
yeah.
up to him and said, "Les Claypool," and we just had a Primus geek out, the two of us, like for like 10 minutes. Yeah, it was just, and
Oh yeah,
I
no,
could
they're
just
insane
tell. Yeah,
musicians.
yeah. So,
Oh yeah, you saw the shredders,
oh yeah,
exhumed and
yeah,
vitriol. Like if you could shred like them too, that would be badass.
oh yeah, yeah. Always good to shred. Yeah.
All right, number 33. What is the first record or CD that you bought yourself?
Oh God. Oh, this is an embarrassing answer.
Oh no,
Oh,
it
do you
always
remember
is.
those
It
now?
always is. It always is. Yeah.
Do you remember those now CDs though? Like now that's what I call music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I wanted them so bad, and like I was just like, and I think the first CD that I bought on my own that I like took my money and I went to the store was Now number 4. Now
Right.
that's what I call music number 4. I also bought like the day after like Blink 182, I think it was like Enema of the
Yeah.
State. So like those were my first 2 purchased records,
Yeah.
albums or CDs. But yeah.
No, don't. I mean, it's always embarrassing. We interviewed this guy that's like Marilyn Manson on steroids a few weeks ago, right?
Uh-huh.
And we asked him that question, and he goes, "What's the Aerosmith album with the cow?" And I'm like, "Get a grip." And he's like, it's so embarrassing. I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, we all when we were kids, we didn't know anything yet. You could have gotten Now That's What I Call Grindcore.
There you go. Now that's what I call
That's what I call Grindcore.
anti-music, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I could remember what was actually on that one. I think like, gosh, it's got like all different types of music on it, but
Played
that
over
one
and over and over
is-
again. Yeah.
My kids used to want them every year in their Christmas stock. My kids are all 90s kids, so they always wanted them. They probably would be embarrassed about that.
Mine was a cassette, a K-Tel cassette, and it had the Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll, and Ozzy
Nice.
Flying High Again, and Loverboy Working for the Week. I should stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had like always like had music like before that. Like my parents used to run like a flea market.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if anyone uses that term or whatnot, but it's like just basically like out in the field, you put a bunch of tables
Oh
and
yeah.
out in the den, right? So I would always have like random old CDs and stuff from that, and like always had them. It's just I didn't go out and buy an actual CD until I was like 10 or 11. So gosh, that's so
That's
silly.
so cool. Yeah. All right, what number are we on here?
7. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh gosh. I used to have a lot of them, and I've like kind of through mental work been able to kind of let some of them go. Like I used to be very like if I saw 2 exclamation points, like it would bother me until I like added a third or like stuff like that. So
Pot smoking helped me with that problem. Yeah,
yes, exactly. Actually,
yeah.
very true for at least me. I don't know if it helps everyone, but
For
but
me
yeah,
as
I
well,
can.
yeah.
It's easier
Yeah.
for me to. But a pet peeve, gosh, I don't know. I'm really pretty easy going when it comes to most stuff, but I'm like a clean freak. If it's like sort of if my area is messy or if I'm coming to it's good, but I'm a clean freak for stuff that I have control of. But like if
Okay.
I'm going to like a punk house, it's not my space. Like I'm willing to just like breathe and let it go. So like the van being messy, I guess, is a pet peeve of mine. But we all add our little messes to that. Like my house, I'm like, oh my God, yeah. I'm a bit of a clean freak, so that's my pet peeve.
I remember one time when my kids were young, I heard myself say, "Does anyone else know how to shut a door in this house?" And I thought, all right, I got it. I got to chill out.
Yeah.
I sound like my parents, So, yeah.
All right, we're up to number 13. Do you have a favorite professional sport that you like or team?
Oh yeah, for sure. So Massachusetts, I go probably like I played sports in like school and whatnot. So like my main sport that I played was soccer. But we don't watch that much of it in the States, and our teams kind of are yeah. So that's not like my go-to, but when I'm watching sports like basketball all day. I love basketball. Celtics, we had a good season last year, so I'm sure it's going all right so far. So that's good. So I love Boston Celtics for basketball. Yeah, I'll watch like football and baseball. Like they're all right with me. But Cowboys for football, Sox for baseball. And like hockey's always fun to watch. So like yeah, I love the Dallas Stars for hockey and the Boston Bruins. But yeah.
Cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, number 84. Do you have a favorite quote?
I don't know if it's my favorite quote, but I was thinking about it the other day because I used it for my high school. How they have you do a quote under your picture and whatnot.
Oh yes.
And my quote was a Nietzsche quote, which tells you a little bit about how annoying I was in high school. But yeah, it was one must have chaos in one's soul to birth a burning star, I think is the exact quote.
Oh,
so
like
that was I liked that quote. Now I don't know, poo poo pee pee. That's probably my favorite quote right now. Just dumb stuff.
I was always like Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "Well-behaved women are rarely make history."
Oh, I like
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
There's another. There's like
I like Socrates' quote when he said, "I drank what? What happened?"
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you actually have a lot of like philosophical things in your lyrics, which is different.
Yeah.
So
I try.
Very intelligent, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's why
kind of screaming about Charles Manson for 30 seconds. I mean, you've come a long way. The genre has come a long way. Yeah.
Get a little Play-Doh in there.
I love gore. I love all that stuff. It's just like it feels inauthentic for me to. I like never can take myself too seriously or like into the character enough to like probably do that every night. So like I've never like written like gore lyrics or like porno grind lyrics or anything like that.
Have you read Choosing Death? Have you read that book?
No, I have not.
It's like the history of death metal and grindcore. And early on in the book, they talk about the early Napalm Death shows. If this song went past like 15 seconds, they'd start screaming, "Prog rockers."
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy. Yeah. Can only imagine.
So
that's at least it. Oh no, sorry. There's a delay, so I just keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
You're fine. What were you gonna say?
No, it's just like with the shortness of the songs, it presents a challenge in how you do your lyrics. Like if you have something to say and you have such a short period of time to say it, like it can be like Cookie Monster word salad, like that kind of stuff, or it could be like one word songs, like stuff like that. So that because our songs were a lot shorter when we started out, and it was like the whole fastcore thing. Like I took the route of like the Cookie Monster word salad, and like now that we have longer songs that we're able to like spread the concept out on, like editing has become really big in my own writing for the patterns and the lyrics, because like I always like do too much, say too much, and going back and editing down to like the simplest, like, okay, what do I want to say? What am I trying to say with this that I just wrote? And how simple can I make it and to get the point across? I think that's so invaluable and so important, something that I've learned from hardcore. So yeah, that's important to me.
Yeah, I have a hard time with like 30-second songs. I mean, I need a little more. I need a couple minutes. A couple minutes to, Scum is a tough listen for me. It really is. Even to this day, it's just it's so, the songs are so short. I need time to get into them. You know what I mean?
Your favorite, I think, your favorite lyrics that I like personally are in a chamber, trespasser of a certain posture, supine, it shakes the rafters attached to the frame, constant clamor. It's almost like a haiku.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat how when you write, do you write it like almost like a poem, or how do you work it?
So that album, the Memory Theater stuff, there was like a concept for the whole album, sort of, and each song was its own quote unquote room within the theater or whatnot. So each little piece had like a concept behind it. So like one was creating the interior architecture, another destroying it, and that one in particular that you pulled from was like probably one of my most personal songs. That one was like about someone invading your theater, if you will, invading your space. So like but like not so much that. So like the line alludes to like there's someone there, in the very back of the top farthest room in your mind, and they're just shaking and they're making all this noise, and it's coming out as just these dull. It's like it's there, it's still there. You can hear them in the back there, but it's dull, and it's just time to get them out of there. So that
cool.
Just evict their ass sort of a thing. So that song is kind of an insight on how I did that. But in general, like I like songs that have rhyming schemes. Like I try and make everything rhyme. I just think it works better for what I do, what we do. But I'll always start with patterns. Start with patterns, and then kind of like he's like over it, like nonsense over it, and then fill in the words. But sometimes you just get writer's block. And on the last album, there was a couple songs where I was having a hard time figuring out what the best part was, and so the other members of my band will become involved, and I'll ask them their opinions, and we'll try and work out what we all think the pattern should be on that. And then, like, for example, we have a song on the record, Forced Collective Introspection, and I was having a hard time with the chorus of that. I was like, I don't know, everything I'm like singing to myself kind of sounds like that last song, and I want this one to be different. And I was like, what does it make you think of? To our guitarist Chrissy, and she's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a pep rally song, or like a cheerleader vibe, and so then I was like, be aggressive, be aggressive. I say be aggressive. So then from that point, and it kind of was like, oh, okay, I can take that little nugget and like put words behind it, and so it became Force Collective, and the chorus to that song. So inspiration hits
That's
differently.
really cool.
Same thing with the other song we have, Cliffhanger, and that's all old school hip hop. So like our drummer was like, what do you think about this part for this song? And he's like, I don't know, it kind of sounds like Grandmaster Flash, like. And so I was like, don't push me. And so we ended up keeping that phrase like in the song too, just because it was different and cool enough that it worked. So
that's like the first hip hop, right? Grandmaster Flash. That's the first hip hop, I think, isn't it?
I'm not. So there was hip hop before that, like all like what's the song? Is that a hip hop? A hit? A heavy? Is it a hit?
Yeah.
I think that's the first.
Grandmaster Flash is going way
but
back.
Yeah,
that's way.
It's kind of like the first like introspective, like not party rap or hip. That changed the game, and I love the message of that. I love it. I used to wear when we performed a lot a song that had Grandmaster Flash, or a shirt that had him on it and said, "Don't push me because I'm close." So like, yeah, it's like a full circle moment for the band. But yeah.
Do you ever like write lyrics and then later you look at them like a couple weeks later and you're like, what the hell was this? What was I? Because I do that with our material. I'll be like, what? This is not
Yep.
funny. What was I thinking? You know?
Yeah, I think everyone that's a creative does that. But
Yeah.
like now, the way that we write, I'm just editing so much that I think like I get it past the. There's like a cringe level, and then
Right,
there's
exactly,
like
a
the
cringe,
refined
right.
level. So
Yeah.
not too much. Not too much. I mean, there's probably
It's
old
less and
songs.
less, but especially if I write something under the influence of something, the next day I'll be like, what was this? You know, what? Anyway. Well, this was great, wasn't it?
So we're very excited. I saw your announcement. You'll be back in Baltimore in May at the Hell in the Harbor Festival.
Well,
We're
that's cool
trying
how
to
that
get
worked
a
out. Yeah,
table
we
there.
announced that.
Yeah, we're hoping we'll have a
nice.
table there so we can do the show there. So, you know,
Hell yeah.
it should work out fine because there's so many great bands there that we want to just have the show set up and just have people come and have a seat and talk, and then, you know, so that's the plan.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, from what I understand, from what Adam told me and on everything, that it's gonna be like there's gonna be an outside stage and inside stage at sound stage. So like
yeah, that's great.
Where everyone has been to for Maryland Death Fest and whatnot. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of walking involved. I think they're going to like shut down the street and like have it right outside. So it's going to be like walking to Edison lot or anything like that. So I think it's going to be awesome. I'm so stoked. I don't know if they put out like who's on what day yet, but the day that we play is stacked and we're so stoked, and it's just awesome. We definitely needed something in Baltimore on Memorial Day weekend this year. So I'm so grateful. I'm sitting there too at a table.
Yeah. We'll
hey.
We'll flag you down if we see you.
Yeah. I was all sad with Maryland Death Fest because now they're saying it's not going to be till 2024, and I'm like, oh, who needs Maryland Death Fest? This is the
yeah.
Right. This is the
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the intention is to have them continue with the Hell in the Harbor festival too, just having it on a different weekend sort of a thing. So I don't know when it's going to be in the future, but hopefully there's a ton of people that go this year, so where the demand is really high. So, that's cool. And I love Baltimore so much. I love the music out of Baltimore. We hadn't played Baltimore until this year was the first time we played back in April with the I Hate God at Auto Bar. I think it was Auto. Yep. Okay. So like I just so many influences and so many current bands that I really like from Baltimore right now. So yeah, shout out End It. They're like the biggest in hardcore right now, in my opinion. They're like awesome. I love that band. So them, Trapped Under Ice, all those y'all got Turnstile and stuff too. That's like the biggest band in the world right now. So yeah.
That's funny. Mike Williams from I Hate God used to write for me when I had a magazine. Yeah. And I used to I used to look forward to when he would write because he was always nails,
he's a poet, like
spikes and death, and he didn't hold anything back. And I used to look forward to his reviews so much. It was great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for this. This is great. And we can't wait to see you at Hell in the Harbor.
Hell yeah. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, we'll be talking then.
The Sounds of Decay!
Okay, Sounds of Decay time. Let's start off with a band that I have been listening to nonstop all week from Portugal. It is Rotten Coffin. Take it away, Stace.
This is a three-piece out of Portugal. 2021 was their first demo, Suffering Chaos and Death. I like it. And 2022 brings a surprisingly solid debut with The Agony in Slumber that just dropped this past December.
Yep. It is such an addictive listen. Guttural in the vein of Vader, but with some sweeping epic guitar solos that you would never expect from a three-piece band. And what is the best Vader album, people? Is it De Profundis? Is it the first album? Is it Impressions in Blood? Come at me in the comments. Let's play a song, Barren Landscapes. About a minute in, listen to this breakdown. It is a crusher.
Friggin' awesome. All right, Decay number 2. This is Black Beast. They've been around a little longer, since 2002. They are from, I'm not going to try to pronounce that city, but they are from Finland.
The land of umlauts. People's names have like 19 consonants with umlauts on them. So
they are kind of traditional black metal, blasphemy, chaos, Satan, but they kind of have an interesting discography as well, where they had Black Beast come out in 2005, and then Unholy Finnish Black Horror Union, I love that title, 2006.
I thought it said Unholy Finnish Black Unicorn. But that's weird. From 2006 to 2019,
Right.
they didn't put anything out.
And then I don't know what happened, but they didn't come back and give us Nocturnal Bloodlust till 2019. But they are back in 2022. Don't you fear, with Arctic Darkness.
Yeah, it's great. It's very much orthodox of Finnish black metal if you're into Horna and Behexen, but it also reminds me of some of the Norwegian stuff like Mayhem, especially in the drums.
Oh yeah, definitely. Their names also were, like we were discussing the other week, Infernal Tormentor on guitar. But it's
Necrocorpse von Demon Blood.
Yeah, Necrocorpse von Demon Blood on vocals.
And on drums, Jason. No, just kidding. I see what I did there. I always do that. Anyway, let's play a song. This is Black Magic and Witchcraft. Sounds of Decay 3 from Queensland, Australia. How much would you pay? This is Sickening Ways. Formed in 2020, a one-piece band. Jamie Jensen plays all the instruments. This is the first EP, Realization of a Failed Existence. It just came out on New Year's Eve on Bandcamp, and the CD and full Spotify release will be at the end of January. Why don't you take it?
He's a super nice guy. He's been in a variety of bands over the years. He has played literally everything, from jazz to funk to metal. Obviously, he's into the good stuff.
Yeah.
We've got those guttural high vocals in the vein of kind of early Cannibal or Deicide, with some immolation influence in the guitar parts, but with lyrical solos.
And the solos are very good. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. He said the drums were programmed, but they don't sound like it to me. They're full of punch, and the snare's crisp. And I dig this artwork, how everybody's just kind of marching off to their doom. It's really cool. I would like a t-shirt of this. Yes. So you want to introduce the song?
Let's play a song. This is Treachery.
Well, I guess that's about it. I mean, we talked about what your bag that you carry says about you. There she goes.
We talked about the idiotic days and holidays that don't actually exist that people try. I think it's an attempt to sell more greeting cards. I think this is what this is.
We talked about National Take Cheez Whiz hits right from the can.
We talked about my Vegetti.
That's right. And we're going to bust it out as soon as the show's over, too. Yeah. We talked about many things with Katerina from Escuela Grind.
Can't wait to see them again at Hell on the Harbor.
A little bit of a Converge geek out. Yep.
Anyway, this has been the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast. Special thanks to the lovely Katerina from Escuela Grind for appearing on our show and giving us such wonderful music. Snaggletooth theme, courtesy of Gustav Jord of Defleshed. Sounds of Decay theme, courtesy of Steve Rathbone from Lair of the Minotaur. Decay bands, Sickening Ways, Black Beast, Rotten Coffin. Get over there and check them out. You can thank us later. Checks in the mail. So this has been the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast. All content trademark 2023. The Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast.
We won't subscribe.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.